Why petrol prices are rising again? Good day everyone, welcome to the real story of the day. For almost 4 years, petrol price in India barely moved. Then in May 26, in just 10 days, price jumped nearly 7.5 rupee a liter. What actually broke that 4-year calm? And why does something happening in the Middle East and up changing what you pay at petrol pump in Delhi or Mumbai? Let's break down exactly how petrol price really work. So most people assume that petrol price just go because oil is expensive. That's not half of the story. The full story involves global crude price, shipping routes, a struggling currency, and government decisions. And also, 26 alone gave us a textbook example of all four colliding at once. Let's start with the 4-year freeze. So between April 22 and May 26, India's state-run oil companies like Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum and Hindustan Petroleum kept retail petrol and diesel price almost completely unchanged, even while global oil price moved up and down underneath. To do this, these companies absorbed the loss themselves. By early 26 of this year, they were losing an estimated 1000 rupee to 1700 rupee crore every single day just from selling fuel below cost. That's not a typo crore every day. This kind of freeze can only last so long before something has to give. So what was the trigger and the shipping lane most people never think about? In early 26, conflict escalated in the Middle East and it disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important oil transport routes on the planet, since a huge share of the global crude passed through it. Because of the disruption, Brent crude price, which was sitting comfortably around $69 to $72 a barrel in February 26, surged past $110 a barrel, with short-term spot price briefly touching as high as $144 a barrel during the peak of this panic. Here's why this hits India specifically so hard. So India imports roughly 85 to 90% of all the crude oil it uses, and a massive share of that comes from Gulf nations like Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, all shipped through that same Persian Gulf region. When that route gets disrupted, India has almost no domestic buffer to absorb the shock. Now, why this reason would make it so worse? There is a second factor compounding all of this. That's currency. India pays for its crude oil imports in US dollar. So when the Indian rupee weakens against the dollar, the same barrel of oil costs more in rupee term, even if the global dollar price of oil doesn't move at all. In 26, a weakening rupee added extra pressure on top of already rising crude price, which is part of why economic are estimating a further 2 to 5 rupee per liter increase were still possible even after initial hikes. Very important part of this video is the next discussion. This is the dam break. By mid-May 26, the oil marketing companies couldn't keep absorbing the loss. On May 15, the nearly 4-year price freeze officially ended and India saw a rapid series of price hike. Across four separate revisions in just 10 days, petrol and diesel price rose by combined total of roughly 7 to 8 rupee a liter. The single largest jump come from one revision alone, where petrol rose by 2.6 rupee a liter and diesel of 2.7 rupee a liter. And in Delhi, petrol went from 99.51 rupee to 102.12 rupee a liter in that short window, the highest level since May 2022. What is the bigger picture? Here's the full chain start to finish. A 4-year freeze quietly built up massive hidden loss for oil companies. Conflict in the Strait of Hormuz spiked the global crude price. A weakening rupee made those dollar price move and impacted the import. And the freeze broke and consumer felt 4 years of pent up pressure in just 10 days. The lesson here is that when petrol price looks stable, it doesn't always mean the underlying cost is stable too. Sometimes it just means something else. Next time when you see petrol price jump, it's worth asking. So is this a crude oil, the rupee, the tax, or a frozen price finally catching up? In 26 this year, it was all four at once. Make sure you like this video, subscribe the channel, share with your friends, family, colleagues too. Welcome to Money Brief. Let's grow together.